Powell, District 1.
Terry, we're introducing ourselves.
Thomas, District 2.
Tracy Robinson, District 4.
August, District 11.
Lynn Miller, District 10 and Chair.
Janet Porter, District 8, soon to be District 11.
Shauna Copa, District 6.
Kathy Cooper, District 5.
And Amanda Dickman is our,
Library Director,
I don't know who you are.
Miss Miller, we have been together too long, I guess.
I've been together too long. Okay. Do you
Would you
want
like for me to introduce our staff?
Yes, please.
We are blessed to have our Assistant County Administrator, Audra, with us today. I also have Ileana, who's our Administrative Assistant, Darlene Simmons, Head of Tech Services, Tracy Cox, who is our Marketing and Communications Librarian. We have Lee Ramey, who is User Experience Librarian, and Teresa Furbish, our Programs and Events Librarian. We also have an army of team behind the scenes who are putting this together online for us.
Okay, thank you. Is there any public comment? There is not. May I have a motion to approve the minutes that were mailed out to you? Joe, second?
Second.
Kathy, all in favor, raise your hands.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any correspondence or communication, Amanda?
Yes, each of you have a letter at your station, and I would like to read it so that it is a part of your meeting record today, and it is addressed to you from me. So, dear Library Board of Trustees, as we look back on this past year, I want to take a moment to celebrate all that we have accomplished together. The Beaufort County Library has grown stronger, more vibrant, and more connected to our community under your governance. Each of you has played an essential role in both our progress and our growth. Below are just a few ways your leadership has made a difference for our library and the people we serve. To the Finance Committee, your steady oversight has ensured that resources were managed responsibly. Throughout fiscal year 2025, the committee provided detailed reports that reflected the library's strong financial standing. We closed the fiscal year with 98% of the library's budget utilized effectively, including a record $954,750 invested in library materials. This established a new benchmark for funding of books and digital resources. Our Strategic Planning Committee, over the past year, you kept the focus on our 4 strategic goals of space, communication, user experience, and collections, while also planning the approach for updating the strategic plan for the next 3 years. The highlights from this past year include, under user experience, we issued 7,310 new library cards, which is a 70% increase over last year. We also increased our summer reading participation to over 2,100 readers. In terms of communication, we reached more than 50,000 residents through the library's newsletters with a 45% open rate, well above the national average. In terms of collections, we increased digital circulation by nearly 8% and added new resources such as Wonder Books and blood pressure monitor kits. And under facilities, achievements reported through the Facilities Committee included branch improvements that enhance comfort, technology, and usability for patrons. Our Policies and Procedures Committee, your work this year strengthened the library's policies, keeping them clear, current, and consistent with best practices. The committee reviewed and revised key policies, including the request for reconsideration, collection development, code of conduct, the photo release, and donations and gifts policies. These revisions provide staff and our patrons with a framework that supports equitable service and smooth operations. The Request for Reconsideration Committee, while there were no formal challenges to library materials in the past year, your readiness to respond reaffirms the board's ongoing commitment to intellectual freedom and community trust. Our Facilities Committee this year brought the successful second year of service at the Port Royal Library branch, as well as improvements across our other branches, including new children's furniture at the Hilton Head Library, the replacement of exterior book return bins at Beaufort, Lobico, and St. Helena, and continuation of pickup locker service at Burton Wells Recreation Center. Each of these projects expands access and enhances usability for patrons throughout the county. To the nominating committee, your leadership in recruiting the slate of officers play an important role in maintaining steady and effective board leadership throughout the year. And for those that serve as liaisons to friends and foundation groups, by maintaining active communication with our supporting organizations, you have strengthened the vital relationships that sustain the library's programs, events, and collections. These partnerships continue to provide essential resources for summer reading, literacy programs for children, the Lucky Day collection at each location, and the introduction of wonder books to our children's collections. Thank you for your commitment to advancing Beaufort County Library as a cornerstone of learning, connection, and community. The momentum you have created is propelling us forward into an exciting new year of service. And I wanted to make sure you had a copy of that as well as it be celebrated today in your meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think with your guidance, this board has really been able to do a great job. We have a great library, and I think the increase in library cards and in programs and everything as the public seems to be very much aware and very much enjoy coming to the library. So nice board, nice leadership as well. Thank you. Would you like to give your report now?
I would. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. As usual, I will start with our personnel update. Currently, we have 3 vacancies. That would be the library operations manager, a library specialist at Labico, and a library assistant part-time position at Hilton Head. We have, excuse me, that should be full-time. That's my mistake. We have 2 new hires that are in the process of being selected and onboarded. That is a library assistant part-time at Hilton Head, senior librarian for youth services at the St. Helena Library. And I'm pleased to share with you that for this spring, we have been awarded 2 internships. These are paid internships. You may remember that last summer we had our first interns with the county's internship program. This internship is made possible through our Human Resources Department, and we have been approved for 2 specific roles. One is a graphic design intern. They will work with Teresa and Tracy and help to make our summer reading printables and online images and graphics really pop this summer. So they'll be learning alongside our experts and putting to use their skills and helping us in that effort. We are also advertising currently for a preservation associate intern, and that person will work with Grace Cordial in our Beaufort District Collection, otherwise known as the Local History Archive. That's on the 2nd floor of our library, and they will be able to work on digitizing specific items that we have in our collection that are physical that we want to make digital, and also work in preserving them for the future. So those positions are posted and we're actively seeking applicants.
Amanda, I worked with one of the interns last year. She was delightful, and I'm so glad we have this program again. I hope that it continues, and I hope they're as good as she was.
So now I will pivot to framing the rest of my conversation with you, my update with you in terms of our 4 goals of our strategic plan, which are communication, user experience, space, and collection. Under communication as well as user experience, we kind of have a twofer in that we've been spending a lot of time in preparation for an upcoming redesign of our website, as well as the launching of an improved meeting room reservation and calendar event listing. So on Wednesday, January the 28th, when you log on to BeaufortCountyLibrary.org, it will look different than it does right now. For those that are interested in reserving meeting rooms, we hope you will enjoy the improved look, feel, and operation of the system. And for those who would like to attend library programs, we think you're going to be able to see what is happening across our library systems in an improved way. To show you that, I have a few screenshots. So even though it's not live, I wanted to make sure you could kind of get a taste of what's to come. On the left-hand side is the current version of our event calendar online. Has anyone visited, seen it? On the right side, that will be what the new homepage or landing page of the event calendar looks like. You can automatically see a way to filter on the side if you're only looking for children, or perhaps you're looking for a particular location, or you can put in a keyword. So if you're looking for book club, you can just type in book club and it'll take you to that. You can also see a different array of how it's displayed on the screen itself. Let's say you found an event that we have advertised that you want to learn more about. Currently, a pop-up box would display, and you would see kind of a little bit of information. You'd have to scroll down to see more. When you click an event in the new system, you get it all. You get all the details of the event, but you also get a GPS location of where that event is going to be held. You also get staff information about who to contact with more questions. In terms of meeting rooms, one of our most popular community resources and services is the use of meeting rooms. Right now, it is a website or a page of our website that shows a picture of all of our meeting rooms, and it has 6 individual calendars to track the events that are held at each individual library location. On the next side, on the next side of the screen, in the new system, when you click, I want to reserve a meeting room, it takes you to this, where you have two options. Reserve a meeting room either by the room or by the day. Some people may want the option of I just need a room on January the 28th. Don't care where it is, I just need a place to meet. So we do have 2 options to begin your request. This is what the new reservations side will look like. When you click a room, this one is the room we're currently in right now, the Beaufort Library. It tells you the capacity, and then you'll see right at a glance, without having to click anywhere else, the availability for this entire week. You could see the areas that are grayed out are areas that have already been reserved. The areas that are in the white color, those are open. The room is open on that time. If you wanted to make a request, you click the plus button there, and you're making your request. This is what the actual request looks like on the other side of the screen. Very straightforward. And that is kind of a preview of our new meeting room calendar and event system. Any questions before I move on to other fun things happening? I hope that you're impressed with the new look and feel. We are certainly excited for this.
It looks much improved.
As this new approach is rolled out, will existing logon credentials roll over to the new website?
I'm not sure what you mean by that, except for, you mean to access your South Carolina Lens, like your library card account? That should not be affected. The best way I can explain that, SC Lens in our cataloging system is kind of the plane that sits on the carrier ship, and our website is the carrier ship. So it doesn't affect the actual, your username and login to how you access your library card information should not be affected.
Thank you.
And community groups who utilize this service. So circle and mark January 28th and send us donuts and your prayers as we adjust to a new website and a whole new platform. I saw the team over there. They nodded their head on the donuts, so. To some upcoming programs that I do want to entice you to try out. So much so that at your station, I have given you pre-VIP access to our winter reading program. The reading logs have not been released to the public, but because you are our Board of Trustees and our most important governors, we want to make sure you have the first invitation to participate. Winter reading officially begins on January the 20th, and it will go through February the 20th. It's one of Teresa's projects, and it's something that we started last year, and we had a significant interest in bringing it back, and so it's back for round 2. We only ask that you read a total of 6 hours between that time. You can choose which 6 hours those are. It's 30 minutes a day, and on your reading log, you'll see snowflakes. For every 30 minutes that you read, color in or initial or be your own artist on that snowflake to prove that you've read. When your reading log is complete, bring that into one of your library locations, whichever one you are visiting at the time, and you'll be entered in to win a grand prize. Now, in the summer, you're used to us having tons and tons and tons and tons of prizes and drawings. For the winter, it's a little bit more low-key, but each one of our library locations will have a gift card or a gift certificate to a bookstore. So we hope that we are rewarding you for your reading with more reading. So That's the strategy behind the game. So I hope that this will be your invitation to join us in winter reading. I also have a few additional programs that I thought would be of interest to you and to those watching at home, so I wanted to make sure that I highlighted those. Upcoming at our Beaufort, St. Helena, and Port Royal locations, we will be hosting Dr. Susan, and tell me how to pronounce her last name. We're going to call it E. I don't want to butcher it or inappropriately pronounce it, but she will be talking about the Women's Orchestra of Auschwitz. And I think that will be a topic of interest to people and something you don't hear every day. So those are 3 locations, 3 dates, same presentation, but 3 opportunities for you to see that. Also, with the spring coming back, we will be hosting Birding Hotspots of the Lowcountry on Thursday, February 26th at our Hilton Head Library. We have a member of the Audubon Society who will be coming to talk about birding. And then also something you don't hear every day is an opportunity to have a docent, historian-led field trip through the National Cemetery. And so on Saturday, February the 7th at 1 o'clock, our local history staff, Grace Cordial and her trustee assistants, will be at the Beaufort National Cemetery for a tour. So please mark those dates if those are of interest to you and come join us for those events. The next 2 pillars of our strategic plan are space and collection, and so I did want to share a few updates on that. At long last, Mr. Bogaz, the study booths are on their way, and we expect to receive them on Monday, January 26th. As a reminder for anyone just tuning into that part of it, a couple of months ago, we received the award notification that the State Library, with funds from the Institute of Museum and Library Service, awarded us a grant to purchase 2 mobile, or they're not mobile as in a bookmobile, but they are movable within a space, 2 study booths, and they are virtually soundproof, fully self-contained, and provide an opportunity to have study rooms at our Beaufort and our Bluffton library locations where currently there is not a study room. We have meeting rooms there, but not small spaces for study. We hope to see them in person on Monday the 26th and see if they live up to everything we hope and dream they will be. In terms of our collection, I wanted to share a very important update and something that I've been working on for a couple of months with our SC Lens executive team, and that is that behind the scenes, a lot of people understand that Beaufort County participates in a nearly statewide lending consortium of libraries. So when you go on our website and request a particular title, movie, or audiobook on CD, it might come from a Beaufort County library, or it might come from Florence, or it might come from Anderson, or one of the other participating counties. One of the things behind the scenes that has been one of our policies has been that when one of those counties acquires a book or an audiobook, a physical item, it won't leave that county until after 6 months. So we could be here in Beaufort County and really want that item that's at Anderson, but we wouldn't be eligible to receive that for you until that library has owned it for 6 months. So after a lot of conversation and back and forth, we've decided as a consortium to reduce that wait time from 6 months to 4 months. And the hope is that that will help keep items moving more frequently and be more of a true resource sharing consortium instead of holding things closer to home for a certain amount of time. Any questions about that? I want to make sure if you have any questions that I answer those. Okay. I did also want to share with you that at this time of the year, from July to December, comparison to July, December the previous year, our overall circulation is up 21,618 items. So just wanted to share with you that as we're tracking it month to month, we are circulating more items overall than we had at this point last year. Now, my favorite thing at the end of the year to do is I get this report from our catalog and from Hoopla, and it tells us how much we saved our community in dollars in borrowing. when you visit our library, sometimes you may have noticed that you get a receipt that tells you your due date, but at the bottom, it tells you saved X amount of dollars. So this report that I get calculates all of the items that circulated and the dollar amount associated with each one of those items. And then it breaks it down by books for adults and youth and DVDs and audios, and it gives us a number of what that translates to in terms of a monetary value. So for 2025, for all the books, adult, youth, nonfiction, biography, videos and DVDs and audiobooks, the dollar amount is nearly $4 million. That's not how much we paid for it. I want to be clear that that's how much those items are worth. And if people who had borrowed those had purchased those, that's what it would have cost to purchase all of those circulations. On the other side of the screen, you see the same type of idea, but in terms of digital. So for all of the audiobooks and the ebooks, the movies, the TV series that were streamed or viewed in Hoopla, the value of that equals $3.5 million. So what you get when you add both our physical in-house collection and our digital 24/7 collection is that Beaufort County Library is returning nearly $7.5 million in value in terms of what you're borrowing. Any questions?
Amazing.
I was waiting for that, thank you. I thought it might come from Mr. Bogaz, but I appreciate it coming from
Here,
you.
it's noteworthy that our county budget is a little over $7 million. And the library system is returning over $7 million back in value back to the community. So in a sense, it's almost a wash in that what the taxpayers pay for the library services is returned dollar for dollar in terms of value of services, as Amanda has pointed out. I think that's an important consideration.
I like to think of it too, by taking it one step further, and you're correct that our overall operating budget is $7 million, but when I look at how much we invested in library materials, which we talked about being just under $1 million, that's a $7.82 return on that $1,
Right,
which is really impressive when you think about the power of lending and borrowing and resource sharing. Madam Chair, that concludes my report unless there are any other additional questions.
Amazing, thank you. Thank you so much, Amanda. Next, we have Mr. Bogaz and his finance report. And
Hey, thank you. And, oh my gosh, well, continuing with the uplifting considerations of the library, I'm going to go through the finance report. The finance documents are shown on the screen, but from where I sit, that's pretty small reading. So it may be more useful to look at it, the documents in your packet here. And we'll begin with the document that's shown up on the screen there. It's noteworthy that at this point in time, we're halfway through our fiscal year. So we have sort of a feel for where we are and what the end of the year numbers are going to look like, at least respectively here. And we'll go over this in our usual way. What I'd like to do is to start on the left-hand side of the special funds report that you have here and look at state aid. At this point in time, we've received our second installment of state aid, $257,000. Just as a reminder, in this statewide scheme at this year, we receive semi-annual installments. We've received everything for the year. At this point, we've only spent $12,000 of that total. So we have a very healthy carryover of $502,000. This is not really a concern because all this money is devoted towards library materials, and most of our library material spending occurs in the latter part of our fiscal year. So this is quite normal and quite to be expected here. In terms of impact fees, middle column here, you'll see, and Amanda has this sort of footnote number at the bottom right-hand corner here. Altogether, we're at $5.5 million in terms of impact fees. This is a very, very healthy number here. We have outstanding commitments, if you would, of about $2.4 million in terms of the fees, which leaves us with a $3 million uncommitted balance. which also means that we have sufficient resiliency to look at and pick up any library opportunities that may occur in the future here. So we're very healthy in that regard. Moving over to the left-hand column here in special trusts, a few minor changes here. We had about $1,400 in interest on the endowment, $56 spent out of the Beaufort County District Collection, and $462 donation to the county library. That's reflected here. The grant numbers have edged up a bit, about $1,200. So as Amanda said, we have the $30,000, which has been identified for the study pods. We also have $2,500 for the strategic plan preparation, another $1,200 in terms of a humanities grant for the author festival. So we're looking good on all of these regards here. What I'd like to do then is to turn over to the next page, which is our operating budget. That we are halfway through the year. Looking down at the bottom right-hand corner, altogether combined spend, we're at 44%, which means that we really have 6% unspent of our budget. And you look down at the bottom right-hand column, the final number here, you see that we have unspent money of $452,000. So it's looking as if we will go into the end of the year with really a budget surplus, unspent. The vacancies that Amanda pointed out earlier really contribute to the underspending that we have here. When you take a look at the personnel services line, we're at 43% spent. When we get down to operating expenses, we're at 53%. Nothing really jumps out here that's extraordinary here. The higher spending numbers on the operating expenses are really in two lines: maintenance contracts and library materials. But most of the library materials here, as you notice here, is really carryover into the second half of the year. So when we take a look at our budget, we're looking very good, very good. If we can move over to the final page, which is really our materials expenditures for the year, which is really my favorite reports here. So far through this year, we spent $315,000, which is pretty much on track. As I said, most of the material spending occurs in the latter part of our fiscal year. What is interesting to note is that 75% of our year-to-date spending is on hoopla. Okay. This compares last year, we were at 70%. So we're spending a little bit more on hoopla. Again, nothing extraordinary, nothing to jumps out here. Now, when I take a look at this and really forecast out where we're going to be at the end of the year. So we have a remaining county materials budget, unspent numbers, which I talked about $236,000. Unspent state aid, as I pointed out here, we got another $500,000 here. And if we get some money from the friends, we're looking at a cumulative year-end possibility of $1.1 million, which is really an extraordinary. Now, as Amanda has pointed out in her earlier comments to the board here on our accomplishments, last year we spent $954,000. This year we're looking at kind of breaking the $1 million mark, which is extraordinary here. Okay. So at this point, summing it all together, impact fees, we have capacity here. We have $3 million uncommitted. Our operating budget is underspent here, and our library budget is looking at $1 million. Our library materials budget is looking at $1 million. So that's really good news. And on that high note, and I'd also like to say, this is my last presentation to the board as your finance chair.
Say it isn't so.
Yeah, it is so. It is so. It is time. It is time. My term has run out. My numbers have ended. That is it. What I'd like to do really is to personal thanks to the Finance Committee that has supported me throughout this time here, to the Library Board for your patience in listening to me, and for Amanda as really being a wonderful director here and supportive. When I look back at those of us that are rolling off the board at this particular time, we've come a long way. I think our library is in much better shape than it's ever been. We're financially sound. We have solid and good leadership, and that's probably the best legacy that we could hope for here. So thank you very much for your support and for your patience. And if there are any questions on the finance documents, we'll do our best.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. And if not, back to the chair. Thank you.
I want to say something. Joe, you joined the board in 2014 at a time when the budget was facing significant challenges. I remember you walking to look at our terms. So the library board membership has terms of it's 3 4-year terms. They are asking us if we want to keep that 3 4-year terms, or if we want to change that to something else. If we want to add a term, we want to make it 4 4-year terms. If we want to make it 2 2-year terms, or no term, or continuous, not having any end to the terms. So I guess, could I have a motion to discuss, a motion to, I guess I would say, can we have a motion to change the terms for the Board of Trustees for the length of stay that they are on the board? Can I just have a motion for that, and then we can discuss it?
Could you clarify something for us, Liz?
Yes.
Can we decide this on our own, or does this change in terms, which is a change in the bylaws, go to the county commissioners?
It's my understanding that you have the ability to determine what term lengths you want.
So we have that ability.
They
Okay.
do your term, like the length needs to be 4 years, but the amount of terms, like the number of terms, you currently have 3. You get to choose whether have no term limits. Have no term limits.
We need a motion to discuss that?
No, I think we need to discuss it and then,
Make a
and
motion?
then somebody needs to make a motion and then second it and then, yeah,
And then do it,
yeah, yeah.
okay. Okay. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
I'm not sure I'm in agreement with the no term limits, because I think new blood into a board is helpful. I'm not saying how board is helpful. I'm not saying how often, but I do think that I've seen boards go on and on and on, and it makes it difficult to change things.
I want to say, a best practice in governance is that you have terms, different lengths, different renewal, but that you have terms. So I wouldn't want us to go to no term limits either.
I would personally second that. From my own experience here, I think it's helpful to bring fresh eyes, fresh ideas, a new perspective to the situation here. We have
Others of you have the same instance. We need to allow other people to give input.
So if we want terms, and according to the law, state law or Beaufort County law, the terms have to be 4-year, then the only question is how many 4-year terms do we want people to serve? I do want people to be aware of one glitch in this, though, can we talk about Brenda? Yeah, we can talk about Brenda.
Yeah, we can.
So,
We can.
So let
Yes,
me
we
give you an example that is something you need to think about with this, because 12 years seems like a long time, is Brenda was appointed to fill a partial term. And the county right now recognizes that as a full 4-year term, even though she only served like 1 year there. So many of us, some of us would like Brenda to be able to serve another term, but they're counting a 1-year term as if it was a 4-year term. Do you understand it? Because they're saying partial, full, it's 1 term. So I know 12 years sounds like a long time, but I would be advocating that we consider thinking about 4 4-year terms, because this will happen to other people too, not just Brenda. Attendance is horrible or whatever, that we don't have the right to say that they can't be reappointed.
Yes, you at any time, you can approach your council person about removal of a board member for whatever reason that might be. What she's talking about is that according to the bylaws, your maximum amount of number of terms are 3 terms. And the question before this body is whether or not you want to continue to have 3 terms as the maximum amount of terms, or whether you'd like to increase that or reduce that.
I have a question of clarification. Do the county council members vote on whether a person is reappointed for the next 4-year term, or is that up to us?
The individual who is serving gets the opportunity to request reappointment, and that is reviewed by county council.
Got it, thank you.
Well, you could contact your council person and say, I have concerns about Amanda serving on this board. And regardless of if I've been appointed or up for reappointment, I can be removed at any time for justification.
I began, it was a case of some.
Right, and so where it's a little bit confusing this time around, and you mentioned specifically Brenda's case, and she mentioned and pointed out that her first term was 3 years. And so it is not this body to determine whether that's a whole term or not. That is up to the Boards and Commissions Office to determine the number of terms that a person has served. So in this case, the Boards and Commission Office received her request. They verified how many terms that she has served. That, in their opinion, is 3 terms. So she's ineligible for reappointment because you max out, according to your bylaws, at 3 terms.
I really think it makes a difference. So I agree 4 years is 4 terms is too long, but 3 I'm comfortable with.
Anyone else?
I came to the board, Lynn was here, Joe was here, and Tab was here. And, you know, when we think about the things that have, from where our budget was in a totally different place when I started.
Yeah.
COVID, and we went
To
through.
learn things and learn the budget and everything, you know.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that. I'm definitely in favor with the 3-4-year term. I'm okay with that.
And when I looked at the number of years when Amanda sent the email, I thought,
When I got mine the last time, I was like, whoa.
this couldn't
Well-
possibly have been this number of years.
Well, despite the fact that we have that 3-4-year term position right now, we have potentially 5 people with Brenda included, given the her term restriction, and Joe and Lynn, and then
But, you know, in politics, we know you don't just throw
Throw 'em
it
all
all
out at
out
once.
at one time.
Well, can I have a motion then to keep the bylaws, or to keep the terms at 3 4-year terms for the trustees?
Make a motion that we leave it at 3-4-year terms.
Okay?
Second that.
Okay, so,
Bylaws account for, you know, like I said, I'm willing to stay until a replacement.
right, yeah, and we
maybe
appreciate
a
that.
year, you know, you just don't know.
Replacement.
Right.
All in favor of the motion to keep it?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, okay, so that motion is carried, so we will keep it at 3, and I agree with you, I think 3, it takes a while to get acclimated, because we don't meet every month. So I think you kind of lose a little bit in between, but
And if that's too much for someone, they always have the choice to leave after 1 or
Right.
2
That's right.
terms.
Yep.
We met in early December. We received a recommendation for another consultant possibility from the Dorchester Library, and Amanda reached out to them. That would be Louder Nonprofit Strategies. She just received their proposal, and she sent it out to the committee members, and we're reviewing it, and we have a meeting scheduled next week to discuss that and other things that are going on. Amanda and her team have drafted a survey, the upcoming survey that'll be in English and Spanish, and we've sent that out to the committee to look at, review, and make comments on. In your packet, you have a copy of our timeline that Amanda put together, and we're on our timeline. And finally, our SCORE mentor, Christine joined our December meeting, and we're going to invite her to come to our meeting next week.
Several of us are, on the executive committee are going off. Our nominating committee, it has some new people coming on that we will be voting on. The chair will be done in secret ballot, but in the meanwhile, we will have the vice chair and the treasurer voted on. Do you want to take it over now?
Okay, in March, 2 members of the favor, please raise your hand, and all opposed. We're in 4. We're 4. So Janine is, and she has accepted that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I thought so. Yeah. Okay, and then we have Miss Brenda Latson Powell, Vice Chair. Are there any nominations from the floor other than Miss Brenda? Okay, or other than Miss Brenda? Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Yes. Any opposed? Any opposed?
I have a question. I have a question.
Functions.
Yeah, you're right.
I never had access to the
No, but you're
checkbook.
right. But you're right. It is the finance chair, Janine Mutter. Yes. Mhm. Finance chair.
And
Exactly right
Janet
there.
Porter will now be your new chair of the Board of Trustees, and
Janine Mutter,
Dana will be treasurer.
finance chair.
Yeah,
And Brenda Latson
Will be vice-
Powell, she is the vice
vice
chair.
chair. Good.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
that's all. Thank you very much, all of you.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Encourage you here and those watching online to look at the presenters who will be talking and what books they'll be talking about. You will see some notable figures in the list. They have enlisted a local shrimper from Sea Eagle, Captain Craig, as well as the Superintendent of Education, Dr. Rodriguez. So the roster is quite full of high caliber presenters. So it's a great upcoming series.
Thank you. Bluffton. Was unable to attend the Bluffton meeting? Oh, that was Bluffton. Oh, that was Beaufort.
I also attended the Bluffton meeting. It was held prior to the conclusion of 2025. Their next meeting will be February the 5th at the Bluffton Library, so.
Thank you. Hilton Head, there,
Can I just make a comment about that?
Yes.
This indicates that Rosalie, who's now off the board, is
has been reevaluating the boards. There's several boards that the county is responsible for procuring, what do I want to say? They have several boards that they have to appoint volunteers for to be on the board. I think there's probably 15 or 20 of them. There's quite a few. They're trying to work on putting the structure of appointing people to the boards into some kind of a structure that works for all the boards at the same time. So they're making changes, and one of the changes that they are making is that when a job is posted, this is my understanding, when a job is posted, applications come in, and those applications boards and commissions will get those applications, and they'll go directly that's going to go to the executive committee of county council, and they're going to make the final decision. So we just have to wait and see we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Is that for all 5 of the people who are going to be leaving?
That is we were able to, there's 5, let's see, how did that work? So there's 5 positions were going to be open, or 4 positions. One of them, no, it was 5. One of the positions, someone had moved, Janet had moved into Joe's district, so that one is covered. Then we have 4 other positions. We had applicants for all of. Any other questions?
So, one more question. So the chair and the nominating committee, or whoever it is that has interviewed in the past, or the chair and the vice chair, will no longer be doing that? This will go directly to county council, and we won't even know until they tell us who the next person on the board will be?
That is my understanding.
Thank you.
Is that your understanding, Amanda?
This is not just for the library.
And background and knowledge, it's going to go to the executive council of the commission, board commission, who has no idea. So that functional, operational review is missing. It seems to be a critical step that's being taken out of the process.
Well, I want to say we had, as Lynn mentioned, we had 7 candidates. And 3 or 4 of them were for the same district. Four of them were for the same district. So interviewing those candidates to decide which of the 4 we want for that particular district.
If enough people contact them, they might change their mind, if that's where they are now.
We did talk to him this morning about making sure that that we were concerned that we needed these people approved by March 3rd. After we get that done, then I think we should talk about our concerns about the process. But let's get March 3rd out of the way, and then I totally agree with you. I think we could probably lay out what our concerns are. I don't know that they care. I shouldn't say that because they're doing the whole county. It's not
Yeah.
like it's just us.
Yeah.
But I think we can still make a plea that these are. So if all the board members would stay, and we'll say goodbye to all of our visitors. Thank you so much.
Nice to see you all. Thanks for
Good to
coming.
see y'all. Thanks for all y'all do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
I'm out of executive session. I so move.
Before we do that,
Yes.
I want to say, we have been blessed with Joe Begans and Lynn Miller being
Yes.
strong
Yes.
board members, both having served 12 years. You know, we all know what Joe has done and how he's embraced, you know, financial performance and understanding. I think he eats, breathes, and sleeps it, and has been such a leader and done so much for the citizens of this county. And you should be very proud at the improved financial performance, because you've been a big part of that. Lynn's tenure here precedes her tenure on the board, because she was very active with Friends of Hilton Head and chaired the Friends of Hilton Head for years. So she has even a much longer history in terms of supporting our libraries. And we have been blessed with their commitment to helping people in this community have resources and be able to read what they want to read.
Yes.
And so I think we really owe them a debt of gratitude. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been an adventure.
Told you I learned a little bit from
Motion to
you.
adjourn.
And now we need a motion.
Kathy moved that we would adjourn. Joe seconded.
How's that coming?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is March 11th at 4 o'clock at the Bluff.